I think so. It's quite bold, and like the topic is quite a bold one. So
I don't really like it being bolder because I think that it's like behind shut doors and it's really secretive. So I think like the font should.
Yeah, but it fades out, doesn't it? So it kind of is.
But you do notice it, but it's not the main thing you're focusing on, which is what you want.
Yeah. But I think it is a good like font. I think it because it's quite a bold topic, as Emma said. So it kind of.
And link the font with the genre. I was like, oh, there's some words. Like I didn't think, oh, it represents this or that or this. I was just like, oh, it's just there. But like when it was fading in and out, sometimes it was hard to read what it was saying.
Some people thought that that they liked the bold font because it represented the boldness of like the female character, but that was in my storyline later on, and it didn't show that at the beginning part that you saw. So do you think that I should still keep that as a justification for it?
Well, you should definitely have the same font throughout the whole thing.
Don't change it.
So if it suits it later, then I think it'll be fine at the beginning as well.
Yeah.
But because you don't know that it suits it later, should I just, because I'm not going to carry on filming the rest of it, so should I just change it for the sake of the opening sequence?
I think if the opening sequence is the only thing that's going to be shown, then yeah, change it so it's more clear and it fits in all together.
So what kind of font would you like to see? Like a swirly one, or just like a nice simple one?
I think like something like delicate, maybe like italics to show Ellie's character.
I wouldn't have anything too fancy though,
No.
because I think it kind of bigs the situation up, but in reality it's not something that's all happy. It's like a breaking down relationship.
And you need a readable font that you can just look at and know what the letters are.
Yeah.
Instead of something all swirly together where you don't know what it is.
Yeah, you don't want it to distract from the actual footage.
I think having just a female character at the end is good because if you're focusing the whole thing on her, then it kind of gives you an idea as to what she's going to be like throughout the whole film, rather than just kind of putting his kind of actions in it. It might like stray the focus.
Yeah, but the title of it was Empty Love, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I feel like with her writing about like how she feels, it's showing that like she's like really thinking about it. But like if you did show a little bit of footage, like not loads because obviously it would distract from her, but it would show like the emptiness, that he doesn't really care.
I agree with you.
True, that's a good idea. But just like a tiny bit, like a snippet, like
should
not
have
lots of
him.
it, maybe like
Just like him
increase.
just going to the pub.
Yeah. Yeah, and just drinking or like taking a drink and just watching the football. Something that's not like normal to him that he relates to, whereas he can't obviously relate to her at all because obviously he's beaten her. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would show it a lot better than obviously at the moment we just see her. We don't actually see his like feelings towards her. I know it's obviously about her, but as Em already said, it is like related to emptiness, and obviously he doesn't care at all, so it kind of relates back to that.
So you'd like to be shown that?
Yeah, just like a tiny bit, even if it's like a snippet like of just a tiny scene, I think it would emphasise it more.
The hitting situation, I feel like you need something to show that and show what's happening, but you don't want it to sound really fake and cheesy, like in a wacky kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it needs
You
to
want
be
it
natural.
professional.
It needs to be natural, and because obviously it's a natural situation. Obviously it's not natural, but it's like normal to her, so you need to show the normality of it. Maybe something like her crying, but like obviously like more like sobbing rather than like, I don't know, like a dramatic scream. I just think it would like take the whole
like
thing.
slightly after, like not as it actually happens. Like when it focuses in on her being bruised, like you could maybe have it in there.
And
Yeah,
maybe
like
make
when
them.
she's in a room.
Yeah. 'Cause where did she get hit? Like, was it?
He slapped her in the face.
I feel like you should show that, like, with
Oh.
makeup and everything, show
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
bruise after.
And then show her crying when she's got the
Yeah.
bruises on her face, rather than the arm, because the arm doesn't really.
And then
I
Like,
feel like she
follow.
should have
It
added
with,
more
like,
drastic
running
makeup because
mascara.
obviously in that
Yeah.
little scene there was many
The bruise
moments
was
where he was like
big.
abusing her.
Yeah, that's
But
what
I
I
don't feel
think
like
it
she
should
had
be like.
enough like bruises on her body to show what he's actually doing to her.
Yeah.
So you want to be more visually shown
Yeah.
what he's
rather-
doing.
Yeah, rather than.
Yeah, and you could actually
sound
have like a
effects.
scene where like she's like trying to cover it up with like shirts or something, but like
Okay, I feel like you should have a dark filter on the whole thing, so the whole video is just all dark and everything. So you know on what program is it? Made in Chelsea, you know that's really random. But they have a filter on their whole program, don't they? So I feel like that would give a good effect.
I think if you changed it through different scenes, it could get quite jumpy and it would start to look messy.
but I think you have to be careful not to overdo it because then if that happens then it's just not gonna look good and it's gonna ruin the whole thing.
Or you could put like a dark filter when he comes in. So you could put a little bit extra like at the beginning or something. Oh no, because he walks in right at the beginning. I was going to say if it was her on her own before, it could be like a lighter, and then when he comes in it gets darker because like
Might show how her mood changes.
yeah,
Yes,
like
that's a good
reps,
idea.
like represents
But then
the mood.
sometimes I feel like that can make it look really tacky.
Yeah, but it has to be subtle though. If you do it with subtle changes of lighting and just subtle, it just subtly changes the mood, and it kind of creates like
Yeah,
a
not like
better
a
mood.
boom, it like changes.
Yeah, just subtle.
If
To
you
be
do
fair,
it,
I
maybe
don't
it looks
think-
like natural lighting is just changing instead of like there's actually a filter or something.
Yeah, I don't think you should like proper just
And
use the natural environment.
And if he
For the
was coming
lighting.
home from work, it would more likely be night time.
Yeah.
So that could.
I don't feel like the music went like perfectly with what was filmed. I feel like you could improve on that.
Yeah, make it a bit more dreary, because her mood's obviously really upset and depressed, but it has to be a bit more. It doesn't really have like a point, you know, when in the atmospheric that it goes up and it makes it more tense. It wasn't very tense, and obviously the situation is really tense and like really not very nice. So you need to probably make a bit more dramatic music, but obviously not cliche dramatic music.
Yeah, you don't want it too much.
I will say I didn't really notice there was actually music playing until
No.
very near the end. I think it's because I was so involved in like watching the thing that I didn't notice it.
Yeah, I feel.
I don't remember what the music was. If I'm honest, I can't
I
like.
feel
Them
like stand out.
Yeah.
I feel like the only time I really noticed the music was when there wasn't something like really significant happening. Like when he was beating her, I had no idea there was music. But like when she was sitting writing in her diary, it was more calm. So you, like everything like zones in.
Yeah.
So do you think I should make the music louder?
Maybe just changing the music to make it more significant might make you hear it more. But I feel like because it's such a visual thing, you are going to concentrate on that rather than the music.
Yeah. I think the filming of it and getting the filming right is probably more important than adding the extras like sound effects, music. Because I think you're actually watching it as a film. It's not like a musical video or something.